Hi, fifth graders. Today we will be working on using the area model to multiply mixed fractions. We will be continuing to work on this skill. For today's lesson, you will need a SmartPal and a dry erase marker. You will be doing problems along with me using these materials. If you do not have a SmartPal and a marker, pause the video and get these materials now. If you don't have either of these, then you can grab a pencil and a paper and follow along. What is the most efficient strategy to multiply mixed fractions? So yesterday we used the area model to determine the area of the rectangle using mixed fractions. But sometimes that may not be the most efficient strategy. So today we're going to be working on when to decipher or determine when to use either of those strategies. Let's look at example 1. I would like you to find the area of a rectangle that is 1 1/3 inch by 3 3/4 inches. Pause the video now and try this one on your own. If I draw up my rectangle, my length will be 1 1/3 and my width will be 3 3/4. I'm going to multiply 3 times 1 to find the area of this rectangle. 3 times 1/3 is 1 inch squared. 1/3 times 3/4 is 3/12 inch squared. And 1 times 3/4 is 3/4 inches squared. Now, if you add all of those up, you will get 3 plus 1 plus 3/4 and 3/12. I'm going to be combining my whole numbers 3 and 1 to make it easier to add. So that'll be 4 plus 3/4 and 3/12. I'm going to find a common denominator. So I'm going to multiply 3/4 by 3/3 to get 9/12. If I add 9/12 plus 3/12, that would equal 12/12, or also known as 1 whole. So if I do 4 plus 1, that would give me an area of 5. Oops, going to go back. And my units are very important. Inches squared because we're just multiplying 2 dimensions. Now let's look at our second example. We have 15/4 inches by 4/3 inch. Let's draw our rectangle. And we're going to label our length is 15/4 inches and our width is 4/3 inches. Now I want you to pause the video and think about how could you find the area of this rectangle. Some of you might split up the 15/4 into 3 1/2 and split up the 3 1/2. However, in this situation, it might be easier just to multiply 15/4 times 4/3. You could either multiply the numerators across, which we've been working on, and then multiply the denominators and then simplify the numerator and the denominator. Or you could use cross multiplication. So another way I could write this is 15 times 4 over 4 times 3. I see that there's a 4 in the numerator and there's a 4 in the denominator, so those will cancel out. I'm left with 15 thirds. I know that if I do 15 divided by 3, I will be left with 5. So the area of this rectangle would be 5 inches squared. You can see here that a more efficient and easier way would just to use the multiplication model instead of the area model. The reason for this is because 15 fourths is already made into an improper fraction. Turn to your problem set 5C 46 at the back of your orange problem set book. I would like you to pause the video and try 1A and B. You will have to determine whether you want to use the area model or if you would like to just use the straight multiplication model. Pause the video after you have attempted 1A on your own. Check your answers by pressing play. Let's look at 1B. The problem is asking us to find the area of 16.5 meters by 4 1/5 of a meter. Pause the video and think about whether an area model would be more efficient or if we should just convert these mixed numbers into improper fractions and multiply. What would be a more efficient strategy? A more effective strategy would probably be using the area model. So I'm going to draw out my rectangle. And I'm going to split up my 16.5 into 16.5 and my 4 and my 1/5. Pause the video and check your answers to find the total area of 1B. Let's look at problem 2 in your problem set. Problem 2 says, Julia is cutting rectangles out of fabric to make a quilt. If the rectangles are 2 3/5 inches wide and 3 2/5 inches long, what's the area of 4 such rectangles? Basically, this question is asking if I put all 4 rectangles with these dimensions together, what would be the total area of all 4 of those patches? I'm going to have you pause the video and try this one in your problem set on your own. To find the area of one quilt rectangle, you would add up the total areas, so 6 plus 1 4/5 plus 1 1/3 plus 6/15. You would get an answer of 9 8/15 inches squared. And don't forget, when you are adding fractions, you must find like denominators. But what I would first do is add the whole numbers first and then add whatever fractions remain. Now we need to find the area of 4 of these quilt patches. So that means we're going to be multiplying the area, which is 9 8/15 inches squared, times 2. Times 4. And there's a lot of different ways that you can do this. What you can do is you can do the area model by multiplying 9 times 4 and adding that to 8/15 times 4. So we're splitting up the 9 and the 8/15 and multiplying that by 4. I'm going to have you pause the video and figure out what the area of the 4 rectangular quilt patches would be. Play the video again if you would like to check your answer.